Andrew.
Hey, Alex.
What's this?
Well, this is Brains on the Outside.
What's that?
Well, that's a podcast, Alex, about creativity and ridiculous business ideas.
Sounds exciting.
It is pretty exciting. Every single week, we come up with like really weird and ridiculous and wholesome business ideas. Like, what if you put ChatGPT inside a magic 8-ball so it was like actually kind of clever?
That sounds really exciting and fun. We should do this more often.
Once a week just isn't enough.
Every day. Every day.
We struggle coming up with one ridiculous business idea a week. If this would become our job, our actual job, crunching through stupid businesses.
I mean, that feels like sometimes it is our job. I think it's not that we find it difficult to come up with the stupid ideas. It's that we find it difficult to come up with the time to record a podcast. I mean, as I sit here right now, we're remote. You are folded into a small ball on the floor, attempting to record in an Airbnb in the other side of the country.
Yeah, I'm currently at a wedding in Swanage, which is the south of the UK. But it's going okay.
That's good.
Well, the shower was kind of weird. I'm not sure I like it. And I've almost formed a cult with all the other plus ones. So interesting developments are happening.
I look forward to seeing how that plays out.
Alex, do you have a business idea for us?
I do. So, Andrew, do you know what I hate?
What do you hate, Alex?
I hate it when someone's mad with me and I don't know why.
It's quite an anxiety-inducing feeling, isn't it?
It's really grim when you don't know what you've done to upset your mum or your dad and they're just a bit annoyed with you or your significant other or one of your kids or a friend and they're just grumpy with you and they won't tell you why or you don't want to
just a bit
ask.
off.
Yeah, it's annoying. It's it makes you a bit anxious and angry as well, and it doesn't help. And you kind of cast about for things that you've done, but you don't really know what it is that you have done.
The issue as well, I feel like, Andrew, why are you mad at me? Then I'll be like, well, Alex, if you don't know, then I don't really want to tell you, you know?
You know what you've done. You know. What? Do I? I don't, or I wouldn't be asking. I don't know what I've done. So I have this idea. Mm-hmm. Obviously, during our day-to-day jobs, we are consultants and we answer a lot of questions for businesses that are very similar. So like, it'll be, I don't know why we didn't make any money last month. And we answer that question. But could we instead pivot and answer the question of, why is my wife really pissed with me?
How does this process go down? Like, someone comes to you and they're like, "Oh, my daughter is so angry at me. What happened? I can't figure it out. What's me and your role in this? What do we do?"
So, I mean, I think we treat it like a regular piece of consultancy work.
Okay.
We sit down with all the stakeholders and we do stakeholder interviews, and then we do relationship mapping, and then we work out what the problem is, and we get to the root cause of the issue. It's kind of like counseling, but it's a lot more expensive. And
the day rate for this is big.
It's high. Yeah, we charge by the hour, just like a counselor would, but it's like consultancy rate high. You know, because also we're not just fixing your business, we're also fixing your relationships, and that's worth more.
That's the thing. Business, people come and go from businesses, they change jobs, but these relationships in your life are going to last forever. So you don't want to like cheap out. You want to be hiring top quality professional services like us to figure out the reason your daughter's mad at you is that you still follow the lead singer in 1975, even though the Taylor Swift subreddit thinks he's toxic. Oh my God, Dad, that's so cringe. Stuff like that. Things no normal, sane human being should have to know. That we can root about and get to the bottom of. Okay, I'm in this. I like this.
Yeah, exactly. Because as a nation, or even an entire race, the human race of conflict avoiders, having somebody else do that for you and work out why it is that you are, or what you need to be better at, or what you need to do better in life at. Having someone else work that out for you and tell you is definitely better than your significant other just being pissed with you all the time.
So
or your mother or whoever.
I have lots of questions about the output of this project, but And the next steps are interesting me, but what's the actual output? We sit down, we interview people.
Yeah.
Do we come back with like a 50-page PDF document and like a half an hour PowerPoint slide where we sit you down and we're like, right, so we've done what's the output? What do you get at the end of this?
So I think the output, as in every good piece of consultancy, just generally, the length of the output should be inversely proportional to the amount of money you've paid. So the less you pay, the longer the output.
Yeah.
You get more stuff. It takes longer for you to dig through the output to get to the actual useful bit. If you pay more money, you might just end up with one PowerPoint slide that says, when you fill the dishwasher, you put the fucking forks and knives in the wrong space.
That's actually a really good point. That's actually a really interesting insight to our process here for this project, where if you pay less money, we're not going to do a deep dive.
No.
The list of like constraints in our statement of work we send you in the contract is going to be not very long. But if you pay us a little more money, we can get that from generally, why does your daughter hate you? Just to that one thing you did 4 years ago. One specific thing you need to go back and fix.
Exactly. Now, I feel like we have a lot of power in this. There's a lot of, so I really feel like with that power comes great responsibility. So we really need to make sure that we have a lot of standards and we have a lot of, we have some good process and we have some really good tools that we use and maybe some partners that we can pull in to help with things. And I also feel like it's not just about working out what went wrong, but we can also help to fix that as well, because that's what a good consultancy does. They don't just look out the window and tell you it's raining. They also tell you how to either stop it raining or how to prevent the damage from the rain, right? That's what we need to do for our clients as well. It's not just tell them that someone's pissed with them and why, but also what they need to fix it in the future. Yeah.
I guess that's what's going to differentiate us from the other big consultancies who do this. We're actually going to get in there and try and get our hands dirty. We're going to fix it. We're going to give you that one PowerPoint slide that sums it up and actually try and change behaviors and try and make your life a bit better. Okay, so that's actually that's super expensive because that involves us potentially learning new skills.
Yeah,
what if the reason your wife is mad at you is that you're bad at parallel parking, and that would mean you have to go out and take like an advanced driving course? This is definitely a certain sector of the population who can afford our £15,000 a day rates.
But at the same time, what's happening here is that you are essentially living within a Hallmark movie because we are resolving life for you around you.
God, that's a really good way of phrasing it.
For you.
This is like a bit of my terrible lizard brain is like, this could actually kind of fucking work. The branding, the website would look like the DVD cover of a shitty Hallmark movie. That would be a bit of the shtick. Like,
yeah. Okay, relationship advice where we actually fix it for you.
Yes, yeah. That's because the thing is, it sounds expensive paying us £1,000 an hour, but what we're here to do is effectively we are saving your marriage in a fucking week.
Not just your marriage, your family, your relationship with your parents. Maybe you're set to inherit a sawmill, and you've been written out of the will
oddly specific,
because of some mistake that you made in the past, and maybe you don't know anything about sawmills, and that's why you've been written out of the will, is because actually you hate wood. And so we'll come in and we'll help you to love wood. We'll help you to understand the beauty of a bit of wood.
Your dad doesn't think you respect timber enough. Yeah. Oh my God. So we'll teach you a lot about timber to fix your relationship with your father. Can we fix workplace relationships or just personal nuclear family relationships? Can we go in and try and fix your job for you?
No, I think if we start to touch on business, it's got to be because we are fixing a relationship or we're fixing a problem.
Well, obviously it's relationship stuff.
Yeah. It's about life. This is about life consultancy, not about business consultancy. So, and if we end up touching on business, it's because it's affecting your life, like you've been written out of a will, or like your dad won't spend time with you because you don't respect timber enough.
So, wow. Okay. So imagine life, excellent, business, bad. How broadly we go into life? Is any indecision, any anxiety, can we try and come in and cure through the magic of high value business consulting?
I think so. So I think any consultancy, business consultancy problem that you also have in life, like we don't know what to choose. We don't know where to go on holiday, or, we have these 5 options of where we're going to go this weekend, and we can't make a decision as a family which one we should go to. And we'll help you to make that decision.
So we come in, we do the research, we put together proposals, we interview people who've been there before, we come back with that PowerPoint slide that's like, Marseille is the place to be in 2023.
Exactly, yeah. Or maybe you're going out with your partner and a bunch of friends, and you have been tasked with deciding where everyone goes for dinner.
Because there's that bit where everyone's like, oh, it's okay, I don't mind where you go. But in the back of your head, you're like, if I picked a bad movie, if I picked a bad restaurant, everyone's going to think I'm a fucking joker. No one's going to respect my artistic credibility. If I put on this movie and no one laughs at all the punchlines, it's going to ruin me.
It sucks, yeah.
Because this is good as well, because it gives like, if hypothetically we came in, we accept some risk and we accept some blame. Mm-hmm. You give us 5 restaurants where you want to go to, we choose it. And if all your friends hate it, you can be like, well, it was those 2 consultants actually, not me.
I don't know whether that makes it worse. I think we have to maybe do something where if it's wrong, right, we will fix it for you, but as though you have fixed it. I think that has to be part of the service. Because if as soon as you're like, oh, I went to these 2 consultants and they told me how to fix my marriage, as soon as you say the word consultant in that situation, it doesn't work, does it? So
yeah, if the relationship you're trying to fix, that person finds out you use the consultant, that's dead now. It's like you ain't coming back from like, oh yeah, I had to hire like fucking Deloitte to come in, KPMG to come in and fix this. That's not gonna fly.
I just McKinsey'd my marriage. Yeah. It's not going to work, is it? So we have to solve that. We have to fix that problem for you. That's why it's so expensive, though, because there is always risk and there is always ambiguity involved in consulting. And so we have to include insurance in that. We have to pay for our public liability insurance, which is very, very high. It's expensive.
So is there a process we go through? Like the actual, you come to us, you say, I'm moving house, I don't know where to go. Is there a process?
Yeah, so we have a formal decision-making framework, I think, that we have to go through, where we have to find a way to do interviews with everyone, all the key stakeholders involved. Mm-hmm. So it might be like, if you're moving house, it might be your kids, your and in my case, my wife, your parents, everyone in the neighborhood that knows you, everyone in the neighborhood that you're going to. We just find ways to get information about all of those things. We then do a bunch of desk research where we gather loads of information about, we get maps and we get Wi-Fi signal things and cell phone signal maps, and we get everything else exactly to really, really get to the bottom of what it is. And then we have to go a layer below that as well and look at the political environment around that place. What do people believe? Yeah, exactly. Are you going to fit into this area? Is it, are you going to stick out like a sore thumb? Are you going to be the problem for this place that you're going to move to? And we start to look at all of that. We map all of where you're likely to fit, where you're going to be in the social status. Is your house a big house on the estate? Is it a smaller house on the estate? Are you going to have more or less sway in the estate? What's the local WhatsApp group like? How good is the stuff that gets given away in the local WhatsApp group as well? All of this stuff, we look at all of that, pull it all together. It's all the little things.
It's little things that add up to make a good living experience. So this is very much like the output here is like pen and paper presentation. Is there a bit where we're like, is there a design prototyping? Is there, you come to us, oh, I want to move house. Is there bits where we like put you up in Airbnbs and tents and hostels in the area just to sort of see, this is like, what do you like about these things? What do you hate? When we go back and we iterate again, we can try and improve these things, but is there that sort of workshopping phase? You want a car, so we're gonna rent a bunch of cars for you just to see what you like? Or is it purely this like extreme confidence of we're going to go away and fix it for you? Or how involved is the I don't want to say client, but effectively, the client in this process?
I think we have to play that by ear, and depending on how much they want to pay. Like, we will take the decision entirely out of their hands under certain circumstances. Like, if it's who should I marry, we're not going to take that decision away from you. That's an important one for you. You need to make that. But what car should I buy? We'll take that away if you really want us to. That we can do that for you.
Okay, so I see the shape, and I see why this is an important valuable piece of consultancy here. So I go to these conferences, like these data conferences, and people chat a lot of shit out there in the data world. Everyone's putting all these presentations that are like, oh yeah, we use AI to solve this thing. And I have this really fun game I play where afterwards I go and talk to the speaker and I'm like, but did you? Did you actually do that? And all the time, every time, they're like, actually, no, we didn't. Like I did a tutorial and that's what it talks about. It's never actually about like full deployments of AI solutions. So what I'm kind of getting around to here is a lot of these talks are about like proof of concepts they've made or like marketing material. They've gone out and they've effectively invented a problem. A really good example is there's a company, I'll just put them on blast, called Avanade, and their big fancy AI project is about looking at puffins for the RSPCB, counting puffins with cameras. This isn't a real project. This project exists for marketing collateral. So what I'm asking is, what do you imagine our marketing collateral projects are going to be? Our big headliner things that are on our website. You click our website, it looks like a Hallmark movie. And what's that first picture? What's that big thing that sums up? This is the sort of thing we can do for you.
I mean, so obviously the goal, Andrew, is, and it's not this because he's already gone and bought it, but I really would want us to be able to put something up there which is like helping Matt Damon to determine whether or not he should or should not buy a zoo. Obviously, he just went and did it, and
he did it. Yeah, there's a whole movie.
Out for him.
There's a whole movie about Matt Damon buying a zoo.
Yeah, exactly.
So, let's go. Let's just Matt Damon approaches you because you know this. You're gonna have to string this out into a whole case study. Matt Damon, he comes to you. He wants to buy a zoo, or maybe he just wants to buy something. How far along? Matt Damon comes to you. He wants to buy something. Take me through this process that gets you from Matt Damon wanting to buy something to him owning a zoo.
So obviously we approach this with the human-centered design approach initially. We gather as many options as possible. So we just big brainstorming, big think session.
Yep.
Everyone there, loads of post-it notes. What are the things that he could buy? Everything. We just put everything down from a packet of Baby Bells all the way through to a space station, because Matt Damon could probably afford a space station. Everything in between. Right, we just do it all. There's no such thing as a bad idea. We get them all out there. All right, everything. Then we go through the process of honing that down. So we do interviews with Matt Damon, with anyone else who's going to be, looking after whatever it is that he buys, and we carve away some of that space straight away. He doesn't want to buy anything. He's already got enough cars, so he gets rid of all the cars from there. We don't need that. He doesn't want anything with wheels, in fact, so we just get rid of everything with wheels. He does want something that's like quite a lot of land, so that helps us to carve out another bit of space. Like, we can focus down on that now. But there's this wild card if he loves animals, so that's important to him. But it's not just regular animals; it's kind of the wild animals. He likes the more adventurous animals. That's what he's looking to look after. He's also got some requirements to be able to reach some stuff really high up. That's a confusing one that he's thrown in there also. But we look at, okay, what are the options that actually might, if we're looking at jobs, pains, and gains for this individual, what is it that he's actually trying to do? What is it that he's focusing down on? Now, in a standard consultancy piece, this focusing down process usually ends up with you getting rid of all the exciting and fun stuff. And that's where we really add that extra value of like, actually, these wild cards that are thrown in there. You could just buy a Starbucks franchise, but everyone's bought a Starbucks franchise.
That's a bit passe, isn't it?
Yeah, everyone's got one of those. Just don't bother, man. Let's do something different. And we'll come in there and be like, no, let's not do everything that everyone else has done.
So this is where I think really you can tell the difference between our work and our competitors, where it's like the obvious choice here is buy a movie studio, have access to animals, lots of land, but that is like, we need that sort of second order, third order thinking. And the zoo is just, it was an inspired choice.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it would go. And then, once you've made the decision, maybe you've narrowed it down to like 2 or 3 options. Buy a zoo, buy a
circus it also lines up with these requirements.
Yeah, buy a zoo, buy a circus, or, maybe super wild card, buy a bar of Tony's Chocolate Only Chocolate. Those are your 3 options,
Yeah.
Then from there, we go deep. At that point, we look at the benefits of each of them. We look at the pros and cons of each. We build a big table. We look at the effort versus reward. We look at the risk. We do a risk assessment for every single one. And then we present all of that back. And this is a long process. You want to get through that decision-making process. If I want to spend some money, I don't know how much it is. There's lots of ambiguity there. So we really have to go deep and wide, and we have to go really deep into these resulting options. Interview lots of people, talk to your friends, family.
This comes back to what we were saying at the beginning. Like, this is the value of it, coming back with a really clear and concise answer. And if you want that, that just doesn't magically happen. Effort is required to come to that actually thing. Matt Damon, buy a zoo. That sentence, actually, it sounds so simple. It slips off the tongue, but the road to get there is there's a lot of complexity and hidden factors in there that people just kind of gloss over. And to be honest, the movie glossed over it all as well. We weren't even mentioned.
It did, yeah. And to get down to that one piece of paper, that one PowerPoint slide that just has those 3 letters on it, Z-O-O. Zoo.
I imagine it's off like fade again, Z-O-O.
Exactly. It uses that PowerPoint transition where it's like the curtains open, God. And it just says zoo there. So it fades in. It's all glistening, and a fireworks goes off. And to get to that, those just 3 letters of a recommendation, that's going to cost you 80, 90 million to get to that point.
Also, I was thinking deep into the 6 figures at least. But I mean, it depends on the client, depends on the project. I mean, 80, 90 million.
Yeah, I mean, you
don't want to undercharge yourselves. We want to. A bit of it is like you have to charge yourself to seem like you're capable.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about how many letters there are in bar of Tony's Chocolonely chocolate.
Oh my God,
that's loads of letters. You're going to pay a lot less for that. You're probably going to pay like 15 million for that because that's
really interesting charging mechanic of like doing it how ChatGPT does it, which is per letter.
Yeah, but in verse per letter. You pay more for fewer letters. That's
I can imagine it now on the website, humancenteredconsultant.com, and it's just a picture of Matt Damon smiling in front of a giraffe. Beautiful. £100,000 a day, beginning at that.
Yeah, you want a big decision like that. That's because the risk as well. You get that one wrong if you didn't actually want to buy a zoo. Because when he started out, Zoo wasn't even on the board, man. Zoo wasn't even on the board. He was like, should I get a Cadbury's Cream Egg, a bar of Tony's Chocolonely, or a Whisper? And it ended up with him buying a zoo. That's the process.
Yeah, the scope creep was pretty big.
It's pretty big, yeah.
But in the end, he was happy.
The output was perfect, They made a film about it, how happy he was. I haven't actually seen the film. I presume he ends up happy. It's not like him buying a zoo and then 3 hours of him going, fuck, why did I buy a zoo? Jesus Christ. Fucking 8 animals. Why is the giraffe so stinky? So, Andrew, if someone wanted us to do consultancy on their life, what would the best way to get in touch with us be?
The best way, if to get in contact with us to do consultancy on your life, is to contact us via email, which is brainsontheoutside@gmail.com.
Is there anything else that people could send to brainsontheoutside@gmail.com that we would appreciate?
We would love to hear all your business ideas or business problems you are facing for us to, we can tell your business ideas on the show, or we can fix your problems here as well. And if you do, we will send you stuff. We have stuff to send people who contact us. And sometimes when you do that, I forget, and it takes me a little while to send you the stuff through the post, but it does always get to you.
It really does. And it's really cool stuff as well. I have several of the stickers on my laptop. It's exciting and fun.
The stickers are real nice.
The stickers are real good. Yeah. Is there anything else that people could do for us, Andrew?
The actual best thing to do, and the one call to action you should take away is please tell people about the show if you enjoyed it. It's nice having people listen to the show, and it's really good interacting with everybody who listens. So having people listen to be fantastic. And the best way for people to find out about podcasts and things is through word of mouth and telling their friends. So we would really appreciate it if you went and told your dad about it right now.
Go do it.
Tell your dad
right now. We'll
please.
Wait. Yeah.
Or your friend. Anybody, really.
Yeah, exactly. Have you got a final idea?
So Alex, what's the best thing about Airbnbs?
The best thing about Airbnbs, the bookshelf of somebody else's books.
Oh my God, that's actually what I was thinking of. It's rummaging through people's shit, right? It's being in someone else's house and be able to open all the drawers and stuff. That's the best bit. I think Airbnb should change their whole marketing campaign to just be about rummaging through people's stuff. Keep your brain on the outside.